really favored to be one of the best teams in the Western Conference. And you have a big game from Rick Nash. You have a big game from Marty St. Louis. And then they go to St. Louis. They lose 5-2. They go play the Maple Leafs. They lose 6-3. Play the Islanders 6-3 again. Big blowout losses, especially when you have the New York Islanders who scored 5 goals in the second period. And for it to happen to the Garden, a little bit embarrassing for the New York Rangers. Then the next game, Carolina Hurricanes, they win in the shootout 2-1. And then the San Jose Sharks come to the Garden, and the Rangers finally have a very satisfying win, where they shut out the Sharks 4-0. So, it's remember what I said. It's still the beginning of the season, so there's really no need to panic for now. If this is still the case and they're going on and off until like April or February, that's when we should start worrying. But for now, look at the positives. Rick Nash has been on fire. Derek Brassard, all these really good players. Rick Nash already has 7 goals in 5 games. Or 6 games. Check that. So, the Rangers' next game is tomorrow against the New Jersey Devils. And then they have a very tough lineup. They're playing the Canadiens at Montreal. Then they're playing the Wild. Game after that is the Jets, but the Blues, the Red Wings. It doesn't get a lot easier, especially against the Wild. I talked about them before. There are a lot of good players in the Wild, and really I expect them to be one of the best teams in the Western Conference, especially after last year. They beat a very good Avalanche team with Gabriel Landeskog, Matt Duchene, Nathan McKinnon. And when you host the talents of Zach Parise, Ryan Suter, those are good. Those are very good players. Fill in guys like Jason Pominville, Matt Cook, Jared Spurgeon, the very good players. And Nino Niederreiter, we remember from last year, former Islanders prospect, almost considered a bust. Islanders let him go, and he comes back, has a very, very good season. Pretty much his first full season in the NHL, 81 games, scored 14 goals. And, he's a big body. He'll forecheck. He'll add some physicality to the lineup. So I'd say the next 10 games for the New York Rangers are almost crucial, where they really have to get a big start, because you already have the New York Islanders getting off to a 4-1 start, being the top team in the Metropolitan Division, and the Pittsburgh Penguins. As usual, they're a great team. So I know it's early, but you do want to get a head start so that if you do screw up in February or in January or in March, that you do have some track to cover, or you do have your track covered, so that you really don't have to backtrack and really struggle to get your game back on top. So the only issue that I have with the Rangers is their forward depth. You look at their top scorers. You have Rick Nash, 7 goals, and obviously leads the NHL in goals, but he's one of the top players. Derek Brassard, who has 3 goals. Lee Stempniak, 2 goals. And then, Marty St. Louis has 1 goal. Chris Kreider, 1 goal, and then Hagelin, 1 goal. And Matt Zuccarello has not scored yet. And I understand, 6 games into the season. But are you looking for a little bit more? And Marty St. Louis, I'll give Marty St. Louis a break because he does have a lot of assists. So he is pretty much at a point per game level so far. But you kind of look at, Chris Kreider and Carl Hagelin. They're expected to score. They're expected to add some productive offense to the lineup. And, as awesome as I love, as much as I love seeing Rick Nash score 7 goals, 7 goals in 6 games, it's outstanding. And I really think he's really sticking it to anyone who really complained about his offensive production in the postseason last year. I think a lot of people underestimated Rick Nash because he really didn't score a lot during the playoffs. But I think he's reminding a lot of people that he is a pure one of the best power forwards in the NHL. So, it's just interesting to see. And Lee Stempniak actually has been a positive outlook on the New York Rangers in regards that, they pick him up. And honestly, when they picked up Lee Stempniak, I'm thinking of a good penalty killer. He's fast. He's got good legs on him. He's a veteran. He's been in the NHL for a while. Why not pick him up? And, he scored those two goals in a row. So I'm excited to see the rest of the season, but I am looking for a little bit of more oomph when it comes to the Rangers landing some big time scoring from different players. But it's just it's how it sees. And on a positive note, Henrik Lundqvist has been fairly good. Beginning of the season, you can't really judge if he's Vezina material, but he has been. He played a fantastic game last night against the Sharks, made some breathtaking saves. But for now, you can give the nod for one of the best goaltenders being Frederik Andersen on Anaheim. He has 5 wins, and has really opened a lot of people's eyes. He's pretty much he's the number 1 goaltender for the for the Anaheim Ducks. And we talked about Anaheim Ducks before. If you have a steady offense, if you have a good goaltending tandem, there's no reason why you should lose a lot of games. It is a team effort. You need the defense to step up. You need the offense to step up. You need the goalies to keep pucks out of the net. So it really does come down to what will happen at the end of the season. And we have a lot of games coming up, so it'll just be a very exciting week in hockey. As for this show, we are pretty much wrapping it up. Next week we will have a lot more topics to talk about. Before I leave the show, I just want to discuss one thing. The importance of neck guards and visors in the NHL. I noticed that last night when, what's his name? I looked before. Jason Zucker. The scariest moment of the weekend. A little bit messy play on the neutral zone. I'm trying to remember what team he was a part of. I'm trying to look at a video right now. The Iona College Wi-Fi is not doing anything for me. So pretty much Jason Zucker narrowly avoided a huge disaster. Kyle Clifford tripped over a skate, and his skate went right under his neck and punched up to his chin. And if it wasn't for for it hitting his shoulder pads first, his throat would have been cut. So I'm interested to see how the NHL will take this. That's a very scary moment. We saw that a few years ago with Richard Zenek, where his main artery was cut off. So it's just a scary sight to see. Nobody wants to see that. So I will see you guys next week. Tune into the show I'm also on, Fast with Alex Fasano, morning show at 11 o'clock on Wednesdays. Hope to see you guys there. So have a good day, guys. Good night.